When you think of Colorado, what is your first thought? Is it the mountains, the skiing, or something else? What if we told you Colorado has no shortage of haunted locations throughout the state? And in this video, we'll be looking at just 10 of these locations and their histories. So grab a snack and sit back and join us as we explore 10 of the most haunted locations in Colorado. Coming in at number 10, we find the Gold Camp Road located in Colorado Springs. Originally built as the Colorado Spring and Cripple Creek District Railroad in the late 1800s, this road was once a significant part of transporting gold ore and supplies out of Cripple Creek over to Colorado Springs. The railroad was shut down in 1922 and be converted to a toll road in 1924. By 1939, the National Forest Service would take over Gold Camp Road, and it would become a public road with 3 tunnels to drive through. Being part of a major mining area, the tunnels on Gold Camp Road and the surrounding area come as no surprise. They are reportedly haunted by various spirits. But out of the 3 tunnels, none stand out as much as the story behind the haunting of tunnel number 3. Today, tunnel number 3 is collapsed and sealed off by gates, but what caused the collapse is the disturbing part for many who hear the story. In 1988, it is said a bus loaded with children was traveling through Tunnel 3 when, for an unknown reason, the bus driver lost control and collided with the tunnel. This event is said to have claimed all lives aboard the bus and caused the collapse seen today. While the story cannot be verified, visitors to the area, including hikers, have reported hearing children laughing, the sounds of children playing, and much more, both within and around the tunnel. Is the story true? To this day, it cannot be verified, but in 2006, a fire was started within the same tunnel, which caused extensive damage and closed the surrounding area for an extended period, while the structural integrity of the tunnel was checked. Over the years, additional stories have come forward claiming kids' handprints could be found on their vehicles, similar to other stories of this nature. While the bus story cannot be verified, many visitors report eerie feelings, strange sounds, and voices around Tunnel 3, and in some cases Tunnel 2. Even the bus driver is reportedly seen at various times of the day and night. Located in central Denver, we find Cheesman Park, and while it may seem to be an innocent park in the city, it actually has a dark history behind it. Before the park was developed, the property was used as a cemetery and was known as Prospect Hill Cemetery, but after years not being used, the property was converted into a park by the city. Unfortunately, this is where the story turns much darker. If you're not familiar with the story of the park, you may be thinking, oh, they built a park on top of the cemetery. And while possibly true, it's only part of the story. The cemetery opened in 1858, but shortly after, in 1860, it was found the cemetery was located on federal land. After this was discovered, the government took control of the property and offered it back to the city of Denver for $200, which the city accepted. Shortly after the sale in 1873, the cemetery's name was changed again to the Denver City Cemetery. The cemetery would be later separated into sections and parts would be sold off. By the late 1880s, the cemetery had fallen into disrepair and was rarely being used. As the city of Denver grew, developers put pressure on the city to remove the cemetery and turn it into a park. Not long after, Senator Henry Moore Teller persuaded Congress to allow for the cemetery to be converted to a park. In 1890, Congress voted to authorize the city to vacate the property, and the cemetery was soon renamed Congress Park. Now for the darker history of the park. After the city was told to vacate the property, the families of those buried on the property were given 90 days to relocate the bodies of their loved ones to other cemeteries, and those who could afford to do this did move their loved ones, but still many remained. In 1893, the city of Denver awarded the contract to undertaker E.P. McGovern to remove the remains, and he was tasked with providing fresh coffins for all bodies removed from the cemetery. But quickly, due to the cost, McGovern found a way to profit even more off the job and decided to separate the bones into child-sized coffins. By doing this, he was making more money off each transfer, which paid $1.90 per transfer. Due to the quick removal and separation of the bodies from their resting places, mistakes were made, and this allowed souvenir hunters and onlookers to help themselves to items found within the caskets. The scheme would not last long, though, as the Denver Republican newspaper quickly picked up on this and ran a story. Once the mayor and health department found out about what McGovern was doing, his contract was canceled and no new contract was ever awarded. In 1894, the grading and leveling would commence with the park, now under construction, but to this day, many bodies still remain buried under the park. Today, visitors to the park report voices, apparitions, and even various scents throughout the park. Most of the activity is reported at night, but it's not uncommon for visitors to see or hear something during the day as well. Many believe that many of the souls whose bodies were removed from the park are at unrest due to the way their bodies were handled for transport and have chosen to remain behind at the park. While most spirits appear to be somewhat friendly, there is still those who cause issues. Today the park is open to the public and ghost tours are available. Located at the University of Denver, the Mary Read Hall was constructed in 1932 and first used in 1933. The hall would be used up until 1972. Well, over the years, the Mary Read Hall has been reportedly haunted by multiple spirits. One spirit is believed to be that of Mary Read herself, wandering the halls, watching over the building. Other witnesses have seen a transparent figure sitting in a leather chair in the DuPont room, just reading. One eyewitness account is from a former student who went to the DuPont room and seen a woman in old-fashioned dress who stood up upon them, turning the lights on, and saying hello. The student did not stick around to find out more and quickly ran out of the DuPont room. Some reports have included items being moved, books flying off shelves, and much more. Some have even reported elevators and lights operating and turning on when no one was present. The second spirit believed to haunt the building is Mary Read's daughter, Marjorie Read, who passed away in 1925 at the age of 31 due to illness. All spirits who reside within the hall are believed to be friendly and may have made the decision to stay with the building rather than to move on. Many know the story of the unsinkable Molly Brown and her time on the Titanic, but what many don't know is her old residence in Denver is haunted. The home itself was built in 1899 and used a mixed-style approach throughout its construction. In 1894, James Brown would purchase the home for $30,000, but would transfer the home into his wife Margaret's name in 1898, which is believed to be due to his failing health at the time. Due to the amount of time the Brown family traveled, the home was often rented out, and in 1902, the home became the governor's mansion, while the official mansion was under renovations. In 1926, the property was converted into a boarding house and would eventually be sold in 1932 after Molly's death at the age of 65. Over the years, many employees and residents of the home have come forward reporting paranormal activity, including objects being moved with no one around, apparitions, and even accounts of Molly Brown being seen in various parts of her old home. Many visitors to the home report the aroma of a tobacco pipe throughout the various rooms in the home, which is believed to be from J.J. Brown, who is believed to still roam his old home. One story that stands out from employees of the museum includes how many of the light bulbs throughout the home need to be checked often, as they are often unscrewed or no longer working at all. This has been a common occurrence since the home was turned into a museum. Today, the public is welcome to visit Molly Brown's old house and look at the artifacts obtained over the years. But don't be surprised at visiting if you feel cold spots or you're being watched, as the spirits who reside there are often monitoring their old home. Built in 1892, the Brown Palace Hotel and Spa was originally known as the Oxford Hotel. From the time it opened in 1893, the building attracts guests and visitors due to its unique triangular design and the building's age itself. While the building itself is a little over 130 years old, its haunted history is very extensive. Over the years, many guests and employees of the Brown Palace Hotel and Spa have reported many mysterious phone calls where they experienced just static on the other end. Some of the more unexplained activities include lights turning on and off during the day and night, and this has been reported by both guests and staff for a number of years. During these periods, some guests have reported seeing something appear to crawl underneath the carpets of the room, but there has never been anything identified. Others have reported seeing a male apparition who is often seen near the entrance wearing a dark suit and hat, and when approached, he vanishes into the corner. Some believe he's the conductor who is still doing his job, as he walks into the same corner where the Rock Island Railroad ticket office used to be. Moving up to room 904, we find that this was Louise Hill's room, where she lived for the last 50 years of her life, where she would often host parties. Many guests have reported she has never left, and she is often seen and heard in room 904, even after renovations to the room have taken place over the years. One of the mysterious phone calls reported by the switchboard operator was from room 904, but once he answered, all she would hear is static on the other end. Moving down to the dining room, we find a report of an employee hearing music one night and finding 4 men playing. When informed no one was allowed in the dining room at that hour, one replied not to worry about them as they lived there. Finally, we have reports of various apparitions being seen throughout the hotel, and even reports of children seen and heard playing throughout the halls of the hotel. The most disturbing report that stands out to paranormal investigators and guests alike is a report of a baby heard crying in the boiler room of the hotel. While disturbing, there is no record known to exist of why a baby would have remained at the hotel, or why they are heard in only the boiler room. So this raises the question, would you stay at the Brown Palace Hotel, or find another hotel in Denver for a visit? The Blake Street Vault Bar, which is now known as Honor Farm, was built in 1863 and was originally known as the Charles Iser Saloon. As the saloon opened, it found itself on the brink of a quickly developing city, and this in turn attracted men and women of all different backgrounds. As the saloon grew, it became a popular location for ladies of the night to set up shop, and with this also came violence, which is today believed to contribute to the hauntings. Over the years, employees and guests of the bar have reported cold spots throughout the building, including in the vault, near the old elevator, and many other places. Others have come forward to report seeing women dressed in black and objects being moved throughout the bar. Others have reported various unexplained noises over the years. While none of the spirits that are known to exist in the building itself are known to be violent, and nobody can be exactly sure on this. While the bar has an extensive history, the vault itself has limited known information. It is known that the vault was used during Prohibition to trade and sell liquor and weapons, among other activities. Today, the bar is open Tuesday through Sunday, and visitors to the bar have often reported paranormal activity while enjoying a drink or meal. The Stanley Hotel was first opened in 1909 and started as a resort for upper-class Easterners and a health retreat. Overall, the hotel has 140 rooms and today offers a restaurant, spa, and bed and breakfast. While the hotel has seen extensive renovations over the years, the hotel has kept much of its original appearance. The original owner, Freeland Stanley, who was also the inventor of the steam car, and his wife Flora built the hotel after moving to Estes so Freeland could recover from consumption, and seeing how his health improved, they decided to keep returning each summer. Today, the hotel is known as one of the most haunted locations in Colorado. Unlike many locations on this list, the Stanley Hotel is said to have a portal that hovers over the grand staircase, which allows spirits to travel between realms and contributes to the hotel's haunting history. What many don't know is that Stephen King actually came up with the characters and storyline for his book, The Shining, while staying in room 217 at the Stanley Hotel, and while the hotel was not used for the actual film of the movie, many who visit recognize the scenes as they walk through the halls. When King and his wife stayed at the Stanley in 1974, they found themselves alone and booked into room 217, which unknown to them at the time was known as a cursed room. On the first night of this stay, Stephen dreamed a fire hose came to life and strangled his son, which unknown to him at the time is similar to what actually happened in room 217 just 50 years prior. But the connection to the hotel doesn't stop there. Freeland Stanley, the original owner, was also born and raised in Kingfield, Maine, making this connection to the hotel even stronger. Today, many believe the Stanley Hotel is one of the most haunted locations, as it was the first hotel west of the Mississippi with full electric, and it is believed between the royal area, water, and electricity, it has contributed to spirits sticking around the hotel. In 1911, the hotel would experience its first disaster when gas built up just below room 217 in the walls and would explode. The morning of this explosion was the first time the gas lines in the hotel had ever been used, and due to a leak, it caused extensive damage. The cause of the explosion was from when Elizabeth Wilson lit a candle in room 217. While everyone survived this incident, the reports of room 217 being haunted started shortly after this incident. Today, visitors to the hotel report seeing apparitions in various rooms and hallways. If we move up to the fourth floor, our visitors and staff have reported hearing children running around. While many of the spirits are harmless, we can't say all are. One of the deviant spirits known to haunt the fourth floor includes Rains the Irishman, who watches from the corner. It is known to cause lights flickering and to pull hair. He once stayed in room 407. Moving down to room 428, we find Rocky Mountain Jim, who was a known outlaw in the Rocky Mountains prior to Colorado becoming a state. Today, guests in room 428 report the presence of a man sitting at the edge of their bed. Female guests have reported phantom lips pressing against them, waking them in the middle of the night. Others have reported objects being moved, voices, and even unexplained sounds throughout the halls and its rooms. While the hotel today is a popular destination and spot, its dark history does keep some away. Ashcroft is a ghost town of multiple relocated historical buildings which have gone through restoration in Aspen, Colorado. This part of Colorado was once home to the Ute people until gold and silver were discovered in the 1880s, and they were gradually displaced until moved to reservations in Utah and Southern California. As the gold and silver deposits quickly dried up, many residents of Ashcroft moved up to Aspen, leaving a population of under 50 people by 1912. While attempts were made to revive the town, this would ultimately fail when a partner was killed during World War II. Today, the many visitors and locals believe the town is haunted by the miners who perished in the nearby mountains. Reports of voices, apparitions in multiple buildings, and much more are often reported. Looking at the View Hotel alone, we find visitors often report strange noises, shadow figures, and a sense of unease throughout the building. Today, Ashcroft is open to the public seasonally through the Ashcroft Historical Society, with tickets starting at $5 per adult and children are free. The site is open June to September. Central City Masonic Cemetery is located in Central City, Colorado. It is located up on the knoll overlooking the hillsides. The cemetery was started shortly after the discovery of gold brought miners from all over the country to the area. Some of the miners who lost their lives searching for gold and silver in the area are buried at the cemetery in family plots, many with their loved ones. During the town's peak, it hit just under 10,000 population, but by the 1950s, the town's population was down to just a few hundred residents. From the 1850s to the 1880s, the town seen miners and their families from all over the country arriving, and with this came violence and other issues to the residents and visitors of the town. Visitors to the cemetery today report bright orbs seen floating around the headstones. One story that is often repeated is that visitors often see a woman dressed in all black, bringing flowers to the headstone of John Cameron. No one is sure if this is his wife or someone else who has since passed on, still delivering him flowers from the other side. But whoever it is still shows regularly to pay their final respects. Moving over to the Gilpin Hotel and Casino, we find a spirit named Lucille, who still hides within the Gilpin home. What is known as Lucille was once a teacher at the one-room schoolhouse. Unfortunately, she met an untimely end when she jumped from the hotel balcony after learning her boyfriend had perished in a wagon accident. Today, she can be seen often floating around the hotel's second-floor restaurant. Other reports have guests reporting the lights in the hotel will turn on and off when no one is present and objects moving. The Patterson Inn was built in 1891 by Thomas Croak, but he would ultimately sell it within 6 months of construction being completed with no explanation. Shortly after the construction was completed, rumors started circulating that the property was cursed, as Thomas lost his wife before construction could be completed, and shortly after lost his mother. Over the years, the Patterson Inn has no shortage of paranormal activity reported and recorded within its walls. Some of these reports include dogs barking, lights turning on and off, and many other unexplained experiences. Some believe that the spirits of those buried at the nearby Cheesman Park transitioned over to the Patterson Inn after the cemetery was moved, as outlined earlier in this video. Moving down to the basement, we find reports of mysterious noises and the sound of a mother and child crying in the dark. The story linked to this account is that a baby had perished in the house and was buried below the basement by the mother. Today it's believed they both remain trapped in a repeated timeline with no way to leave and move on from the inn. Others have reported apparitions throughout various rooms and hallways of the inn, with one believed to be that of Kate Patterson, who passed away shortly before the home was completed. When the property was being used as an apartment building, many tenants would complain of the sound of typewriters throughout the night, even though no one was using a typewriter at the time. Finally, we have reports of cold spots throughout the various parts of the inn and sounds of children playing and crying throughout the building. After the property went through renovations, the current owners have reported the paranormal activity has increased. Will the spirits residing within the Patterson Inn ever move on? We are unsure, but if you're looking for a haunted inn to stay in the Denver area, the Patterson Inn may be an option. We hope you enjoyed this video, and I will catch you in the next video. If you haven't already, we would appreciate a like on this video because it really helps the channel. And if you haven't already subscribed, please consider it. New videos are posted usually once a month or close to it, and I will catch everybody in the next video.